Disclaimer. This is not an argument about who should and shouldn't be in Smash. Everyone is entitled to their own wishes. This is simply a simple analysis and discussion on why this anime Swordfighter thing is even a big deal for some people. Thank you for your time. What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, back with another Super Smash Bros. Discussion. I haven't done one of these in a while, but with the recent news, it seems pretty fitting to bring them back. So, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII got revealed as the next playable character in Fighters Pass 2, and most people were blown away and are super excited for him. But there's still a small group who dismiss him as nothing more than just another anime swordfighter. However, this group is much smaller than it would normally be for characters like Sephiroth. Why is that? Well, that's what we're here to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about why this anime swordfighter thing is such a problem for so many people, and if it's such a problem, why are there so many exceptions like Sora, Dante, etc. And then we're going to go over what makes Sephiroth an exception too, and why he just deserves to be in Smash in general. Because basically, he's kind of a big deal. So with that said, let's begin. Now, in case you missed it, back when Terry was revealed, I actually already made a video discussing these quote-unquote anime characters and why people have such a problem with them. So if you missed that, I recommend checking it out. I'll try to remember to put it at the end card of this video. So since I've already discussed it, I won't be going as in-depth here, but I'll still try to get my point across. Most people who disagree with this argument assume others are just angry at the overabundance of Fire Emblem characters. However, that's a completely different debate from the anime Swordfighter thing, as clearly demonstrated by the outrage when Hero was revealed. The sad truth is, it really does have to do with the characters themselves, their playstyle and aesthetic. In terms of playstyle, there's of course the typical Marth, Lucina, Roy, Chrom argument people point out, but it does go a little deeper. Even when they give these characters different tools, like Corrin with their paralyzing projectile or Shulk with his strategic Monado arts, they're still disliked because they mostly play the same. Rushing in with super fast and difficult to react to counters and sword swings that aren't really a problem in tourney but can be extremely frustrating in Nintendo's slow online. For more proof that it's part of the playstyle and not Fire Emblem, when Robin was revealed in Smash 4, nobody really had a problem with him at all. That is, until Dragon Quest's Hero got included in the game. Both Hero and Robin have generic sword swipes and swings for their standard attacks, and when it comes to their specials, both have fire and lightning projectiles for their side and neutral specials, they both have wind involving up specials, and can both heal with their down specials, assuming Robin's Nosferatu lands, and Hero has it in his command list. And to top it off, both characters have a meter to control all of that. Now, Hero has a chance to get some other cool stuff in his command list like stat boosters or thwack, but other than that, there's virtually no difference between him and Robin. Now, I'm sure competitive smashers will bring up the tier list and different playstyles and whatnot, but for the casual audience who likes to play for fun, they just want to see cool and unique characters being repped. So you do have to understand the frustration when a lot of these sword-wielding characters look and feel and play very similarly, whether or not their weight, speed, or range makes them competitively viable in different ways. In comparison, check out the other types of fighting styles, brawlers and zoners. Captain Falcon and Ganondorf are the best examples. Even though they're still pretty much clones of each other, they play very differently. Captain Falcon is a very fast rush-in type of character, meanwhile Ganondorf sits back and punishes with his brute strength. Then you've got Ryu, Ken, and Terry with their combos and inputs, Little Mac with his ground control and sucky air gimmick. There's a lot more variety to be found in those type of fighting styles. Same with the zoners. Samus uses her missiles and bombs to buy time for her powerful charge shot, Mega Man has a wide variety of projectiles that he can choose to use for certain situations, Pac-Man relies on neat setups with his hydrant. Now, I'm not saying sword fighters can't have this level of variety in their fighting style, they just have yet to display it like the brawlers and the zoners. So that's another reason why people aren't too fond of these quote-unquote anime sword fighters, even though brawlers and zoners each heavily outnumber them. And that was just the playstyle. Now let's talk about the aesthetic. The complaint, after all, is anime sword fighters, not just sword fighters. The way these characters look is also a problem for some people. Now, there's a typical counter-argument that Smash is a Japanese game, so of course these characters are going to look like anime, but that argument kind of falls really flat when the game is full of Japanese characters like Mario, Donkey Kong, Olimar, Wario, Fox, Ice Climbers, Villager, Inkling, Pikachu, and many more that don't fit the typical anime aesthetic. Not only that, but individually they also all look unique and different from each other, even Mario and Wario who are from the exact same series. And, conveniently enough, none of these characters have swords. Meanwhile, if you go and look at all the characters that people have a problem with, they're all slender, slim, slightly athletic-bodied, young adult/high schooler aged, spiky and wacky colored hair, and over-designed outfit that have extremely muted and desaturated colors. That is a very specific and very detailed description, but fits just about every single sword fighter in the game. Meanwhile, if we come to brawlers and zoners and narrow it down even more to mascot characters, Mario is a very soft and round character with an iconic, vibrant red, white, and blue color scheme. And even though Sonic has the same color scheme, he's very spiky, angular, and very lanky and skinny and athletic. Then you come to Banjo, who has a more broad and muscular figure and is full of warm colors. There's nothing wrong with the sword fighters looking the way they do, but there is a very clear factual difference here, and some people just aren't a fan of it. Now let's take the situation and flip it on its head. Let's say Smash is a Western property, and they include all kinds of Western characters, and for their Fighters Pass, they get Joel from The Last of Us, Nathan Drake from Uncharted, Trevor from Grand Theft Auto, Soap McTavish from Call of Duty, and, I don't know, Cyberpunk is relevant. How about Keanu Reeves? There would no doubt be mountains of complaints from everyone over the addition of too many hyper-realistic, gritty, shooty guys. Nobody would care about their personality or character traits or the fact that all these characters are completely different from each other in that form. They'd just see that they all look and play very similarly. So hopefully this discussion on the playstyle and aesthetic of these quote-unquote anime sword fighters provides some clarity on why so many people have a problem with it. But now let's talk about the exceptions. What helps some of these anime sword fighters escape this hate? I mean, let's look at Sora. He's high school/young adult aged, slender and slightly athletic body, spiky wacky hair. How does he slip by? Well, not only does Sora have way more vibrant colors with his bright yellows and reds, but he also has these unique and interesting proportions. Much bigger hands, much bigger feet, and a bigger head. Despite his Japanese origins and slight anime traits, overall he looks a lot more Disney than he does anime. Not only that, but with his Keyblade he has a lot more potential and variety for his playstyle. It may look like a reskinned sword from an outward appearance, but Sora can do a lot more things with it, throwing it and having it return like a boomerang with a strike rate attack as a quick example. Then for Dante, his body is a lot more broad. Not muscular, but definitely fuller than many of the sword fighters in Smash. He's also a lot older and isn't overly designed, simply having a jacket and pants, a solid red and solid brown. As for his playstyle, while he has a sword, he has guns too, and a bunch of different styles and modes he can switch between, and a more powered up version called Devil Trigger. It does sound like he could be a little similar to Joker, but he has potential to not be. And finally, coming back to Sephiroth, he fits these traits a lot too. He's a lot taller, more athletic and broad. He looks older, he doesn't have wacky colored spiky hair, it's just long, flowing, and silver. And his playstyle seems like it's going to be very different too. Yes, he has a counter, but with his extremely long sword, he's going to have a lot of range and a lot of unique stuff he can do with it that characters with shorter swords couldn't. He also seems to have a lot of magic spells, and with his one wing form, it looks like he's going to have a limit mode like Cloud. He fits the description as an exception. So overall, while these anime sword fighting hating people may look like hypocrites for having these exceptions to their own rules, there are very clear differences between these exceptions and the sword fighting cast already in Smash. So perhaps try to be more understanding towards the complaints about these anime sword fighting characters even if they are a tad bit annoying. Overall, I hope this video helped explain why Sephiroth got off pretty much scot-free when characters like Hero and Byleth got criticized relentlessly. There's nothing wrong with Hero and Byleth, and you shouldn't feel bad for liking them if they're your main. They just happen to fall in this very specific and detailed description and playstyle that people understandably feel there's a bit too much of in the game. They're not targeting your favorite characters or your favorite games, Sephiroth just happens to meet all the criteria of their exception. And personally, I'm super duper hyped for him. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Are you excited for Sephiroth? What do you think of this whole anime sword fighter debate? I'd love to hear your responses, and I'll see you guys next time. Leopold the Brave, out.